All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from St. Petersburg. Wessel Stevens, Ryan Hilton have the front row. Ellis Johnson, Avery Walker on the second. Rudolph Gunther, Kieran McConomy on the third row. Yannick Gunther, Adam Barker on the fourth row. Roman Bergen, Zach Beige round out the top 10. Mike Marshall starting at 11 next to Jason Leonard in 12th. Harry Volsmere in 13th, and he has taken the grid. And good morning, Animal. How are you, buddy? Looks like a few of the drivers making last-minute adjustments. As always, folks, if you have a favorite driver, don't forget to drop into the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for. I imagine some of the fans out there are cheering for the walls this morning. Those things are going to get brutal. I imagine that first lap gonna get bumpy. Looks like some of the paints weren't showing correctly, so we're reloading them. Thanks for the heads up, Zach. Every season, when iRacing does their update, Trading Paints gets a little uncooperative, and I just forgot to reload them before the race. And here we go, out of the final turn. Wessel Stevens in control on the start. And they have fired. They are down and away. The green flag flies for the first time ever at St. Petersburg. Wessel got a good start on the field. And keeping an eye on Harry Volsmere back behind in that black Lambo. You know he'll be marching through the field. Wessel out front with the rookie Ryan Hilton in second. Barker has had a problem behind. Avery Walker now in third. Great to see Avery back after not seeing him last season. And congratulations to Avery. He did get married on his time off. Ellis Johnson currently in fourth. A lot of drivers were saying in officials this week that the Lambo and the Audi were the two best cars. And at the moment, two Lambos and an Audi in the top 5. And Wessel leads lap 1. Let's see if we can see what happened to Adam, who has just come to pit road for repairs. All right, there's Adam in the Hello Kitty car. Good to see the, a little bit of bump at Wood. Team Gunther sends him around and into the wall. Looks like Barker was the first driver to make first contact with the wall. And we mentioned Harry, who started dead last. Harry's already up 4 spots in the 9th. Harry's Lambo definitely on the attack this morning. Wessel just set the fastest lap so far and is the only driver under the 112 mark. And this track does have some tricky spots. Does make things exciting for the drivers. They have to be pushing to the limit. But with those walls out there, things get sketchy quickly. You see how close Wessel's getting. And folks, don't forget, race 2, the top 7 will invert. So whoever wins, race 1 will start in 7. Wessel has a 2-second lead over Ryan Elton there in the Porsche. Avery Walker in and out in 3rd. Ellis Johnson's Lambo currently in 4th. Kier McConomy currently in 5th. Roman Berg on the attack. Rudolph Gunther currently in 6th, but Roman trying to make a move. Yannick Gunther in 7th. As we mentioned, Harry Volsmir up to 8th. Zach Bache currently in 9th, and Mike Marshall in 10th. Jason Leonard in the lone McLaren in 12th, and Adam Barker after that early spin back in 13th. Oh, Harry's in the mix. He had just moved into 8th, but is now right on the bumper of Yannick and Roman. This track is barely 2 wide. Will Harry try and make it 3 wide? Rudolph has had a problem and towed it in. All right, there's Rudolph as they come through the turn and gets a bump, backing it into the wall, loses the rear wing. Then a moment later, as he tries to get the car going, no rear wing, the back end just stepping out. Close call for Jason. As I mentioned, Harry Volsmir now up into 8th, right on Roman's bumper. It looks like Roman does have a little bit of damage to the front end, and we're surprisingly banging it out. Right behind that battle, but Harry in the perfect position. Let's take a lap around with him. All right, out of the final turn down the front stretch. Harry's looking to the inside as they head into turn 1. You can see how big those bumps are going through the turns. Roman fights back. Harry's around. We'll get a lap on board with someone else here in a moment. Let's take a look at Harry's incident. There's Harry and Roman side by side as Gunther comes off pit road. See if the blimp has a view of this one. Out of turn 1, a little bit of contact there. You see Rudolph come off pit road, and wow. that exit to pit road in race 2 is going to get sketchy. They will have to make pit stops for fuel in race 2. Things will get very, very spicy coming out of pit road there. Harry had moved up into 8th, now back into 11th. Yannick Gunther now up into 6th. Roman Berg up to 7th. Zach Bache in 8th. Mike Marshall now up to 9th. And Jason Leonard in 10th. Had issues coming through that sector during practice. Let's try and ride along with the Porsche of Yannick Gunther. All right, there's Yannick right behind Kieran McConomy as they cross the start-finish line heading into turn 1. Avoiding the bumps as much as possible. Did hear the driver saying the Lambos definitely took those bumps the best, followed by the Audi. Through that first sector, and man, it gets tight. Into the 90-degree right-hander, followed by the left-hander, and again, not using the curbing. Out of the right-hander, another right-hander, then onto the straight. Yannick up to full speed, that little kink, then down into the left-hander. Now here's where a lot of drivers struggled during practice. Trying to carry momentum, went a little too far. And then through the final hairpin, back onto the front stretch and full throttle again. Yannick did that lap in 1:12.63. Meanwhile, up front, Wessel running 1:11.28 as he continues to fly around this track, opening up a 4.5-second lead on the rookie Ryan Elton. Avery Walker currently in 3rd. Hey, good morning, David. Adam got a bit of a bump early on, trying to battle his way up through the field, went around, hit the wall, got some damage, and has had to take it to pit road, got it repaired, back out on track, but back in 12th. Folks, just a heads up, we won't be here next Sunday morning. We'll be back in 2 weeks. But if you are near Enid, Oklahoma, next Saturday evening, show up to the Monster Truck and Tough Truck competition. You might know the announcer. Roman Berg starting to tighten back up on Yannick, and they both closing back up on Kieran McConomy. Zach Bache back in 8th, does have the lap car Rudolph just ahead. But this group 5th, 6th, and 7th continues to tighten up. And with 7.5 minutes to go, I think we still have a battle coming. Avery Walker also having to drive a little bit on the defense as Ellis Johnson right on his bumper. And I have noticed a few drivers on some of these tight turns, just a little too much power, seeing those back ends stepping out a bit. Meanwhile, Wessel continuing to extend his lead, now 5.6 seconds. And Barker has had a problem behind. He is in big trouble. He is rolling again. Let's see what happened with Adam on the power. What we were talking about a moment ago just spins out and kisses the wall. And because the track is so tight right there, he gets it turned around, but it takes a minute and loses even more ground. Adam will be looking for the comeback after missing most of last season. You know the 9-time champ is looking for victory lane every race this season. Ellis Johnson in fourth, still on the back bumper of third place, Avery Walker. And Kieran McConaughey now has Yannick right to the bumper. Roman just behind. Kier cannot afford to make any mistakes here. He would lose multiple positions. Rudolph Gunther right behind that fight, but Rudolph currently in 13th, not on the lead lap. Zach Bay starting to close in on that group as well. Jason Leonard back in 11th as Harry is now back up into 10th. Jason Leonard has had a problem behind you. He's taking it to pit road. There's Jason. Looks like battling with Harry through turn one. They had a little bit of contact. Taking a look down from the blimp. It looks like Jason just spun onto pit road. There you see him trying to reclaim it, but he spins it onto pit road and gets back out quickly. Wessel Stevens now into lap traffic for the first time as he's closing in on Adam Barker in 12th. Avery Walker in third has put a little bit of a gap on Ellis now in fourth. Kier McConaughey, meanwhile, has Yannick Gunther, Roman Berg right there. has lost a bit of ground on him. He was about 2.5 seconds back at closing, but is now 3.4 seconds behind. But I suspect if these three start battling, Zach's going to be able to close the gap quickly. Here, Yannick and Roman still nose to tail as they come down the front stretch. Roman peeked out for a second but couldn't make the move. And that first sector is very, very tight. It's going to make it hard to make a move through there. Zach Bache has had a problem behind. We'll take a look here in a moment. I expect Wessel will pick up the white flag. And does get the white flag one more time around for Wessel. There's Zach coming down the front straightaway a moment ago. Into turn one, picked up too much of the curb, and it sends him around. Meanwhile, Wessel Stevens down 5.8 second lead. And out of the final turn, Wessel Stevens back on track and back to victory lane. Wessel wins race 1 at St. Petersburg. Ryan Helton in his rookie performance comes home in second, and Avery Walker back on track in third. And let's see if we can talk to our top three. Don't forget, folks, here in just a few moments, the top 7 will invert for race 2 here at St. Petersburg. Avery, you're back on track and back on the podium, man. It's great to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I got, I think, a little lucky that I got Ellis at the start and then just stayed in front of him, but there was no chance I was catching second and first. So I don't know. I'm not excited to do 50 minutes of that. I'll say that.
It does look a bit sketchy out there. You guys are getting right up to the wall in some of these turns.
Yeah, very, very easy to just like momentarily lose focus and then like that's it. You're in the wall. So I expect some carnage.
Oh man, good luck and great to see you back. Great job, buddy.
Yeah, good to be back.
Avery comes home in third. The rookie coming home in second. Ryan, your rookie race, you come home in second. You got to be happy about that.
Yeah, it was good. After the first like 2 laps, I already knew the leader. He was pulling away by at least 5/10 every lap. So it was just kind of managing the pace behind, and it was fun.
It definitely looked fun, but we talked to Avery. He said those walls get tight very, very quickly. We did a little bit of onboard, and you guys are getting right up to the wall.
Yeah, I kissed a few. Thankfully, no damage. So this next race is a long one, so we're going to try to do the same. So it's just keeping it safe.
Well, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. How are the tires after that first race?
They're fine. I mean, I've done this track all week, so normally after the first 2 laps are always sketchy. After that, they warm up and the car feels good.
Well, man, you definitely put on a heck of a show for your first race. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And finally, our winner, Wessel Stevens. Wessel, you're back in victory lane, man. A great start to the season.
Yeah, very good start of the season. Having a good time. And yeah, let's see what the race 2 will bring.
Man, you just kind of checked out right from the start. Even Ryan said he didn't have anything for you. You were pulling away by several tenths every lap.
Yeah, I wanted to be quickly home so I could get another beer.
Well, it seems to be working, man. Good luck in race 2. You got to come through traffic. How worried are you about that?
I'm not worried at all, mate. This will be all fine.
Man, good luck, and try and stay out of the walls.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Well, yes, you heard Wessel correctly. He does have to get another beer before the race. That is hilarious. Drivers are out on track getting the last couple of minutes of warm-up in. A lot of drivers are making final adjustments. And I'm seeing a lot of drivers practice at pit road entry. That entry to pit road comes right after you come out of the final turn. And as we noted in race 1, that pit road exits right there in the middle of the first couple of corners. And the drivers will be coming on pit road at full send. That could, well, we talked about it during race 1. That little sector right there, right before the final turn, we saw a lot of that in practice. There's Ellis practicing pit road entry. And Ryan Elton out here just laying down some laps. Folks, as always, if you have a favorite driver, don't forget to drop into the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for today. And don't forget, tonight at 9:30 Eastern, the SMRX Series back on track. 30-plus cars. Always a great show. And it is just the first race of the season. If you want to join, let us know. We'll make sure to get somebody in touch. They ended warm-up in style. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The top 7 from race 1 have been inverted, putting Roman Berg and Yannick Gunther on the front row. Kieran McConomy, Ellis Johnson on the second row. Avery Walker, Ryan Elton on the third row. Wessel Stevens, after winning race 1, starting in 7th. with Mike Marshall in 8th. Zach Beige, Harry Volsmere round out the top 10. Jason Leonard starting in 11th next to Adam Barker in 12th. Rudolph Gunther starts in 13th. As David Barker pointed out, there is a lot of concrete on the sides of this one. And these cars don't react well to hard impacts with concrete. Jason Leonard is starting from pit road. Everybody else has begun rolling. All right, here they come through the final turn. Roman in control in the restart. He can fire as soon as the pace car hits pit road. Pace car is in. They have fired. They are underway. And the green flag flies for race 2 at St. Petersburg. Turn 1's going to get spicy. Wow, 3 wide through turn 1. Oh, we've got multiple incidents back behind. Looks like Mike Marshall has had a problem. Jason Leonard is on track. Roman Berg out front, Yannick in second. Wessel Stevens, Ellis Johnson battling for third is allowing the top 2 to pull a gap. And the rookie Ryan Elton was peeking. Oh, Ellis gets the wall. Harry's around. We'll take a look at the lap 1 incidents here in a moment. Roman Berg will lead lap 1. And Avery Walker is on pit road. And weirdly, Jason Leonard is showing a black flag. Let's take a look at those lap 1 incidents. All right, looking down from the blimp at Mike Marshall. They back out of 3 wide ahead. Let's take another angle on Mike. Looks like he was a bit wide coming through 1. A little slow, and I think him and Barker get together. Keep an eye here on Avery Walker in the blue and white Audi. Looks like he got a bump from Harry, but does manage to recover. And then a few turns later, Harry there in the black Lambo. On the power a little bit soon, smacks the wall. And just before that, Ellis there, battling, tries to outbrake and goes deep into the turn, but does smack the tire wall. Well, definitely an eventful start to race 2. Roman Berg still out front. Wessel Stevens in second has just set the fastest lap. Yannick Gunther currently in third, Kieran McConomy in fourth, Ryan Elton in fifth. And it looks like Jason Leonard has had a problem and gone to pit road. There's Jason in the lone McLaren this morning. Looks like he was trying to set up for the turn, and wow. See what we can see from the blimp. Trying to cut in for the turn, but finds the Lambo there and slides it in. Roman back in the Iceberg Lettuce car to start the season. But he has Wessel sniffing up his back bumper. Adam Barker, who had a catastrophic first race, has already moved up into 8th. Zach Bay still holding on to 9th. Mike Marshall lost ground early, back in 10th. Harry Volsmere in 11th with Avery on his bumper in 12th. And you know how Harry is. If he has an early setback, he is driving angry and moving through the field. I wouldn't count him out yet. And Wessel has taken the lead. He also set the fastest lap again as the first driver in race 2 under the 112 mark. See that pass to the lead. Wessel sets up. Shoots the gap to the inside. Stuck on the outside, but able to power out. And takes the lead once again. Can Wessel Stevens pull off the first sweep of the season here this morning? Roman still right behind in second. Ryan Elton in third is closing in on Roman. Kieran McConomy in fourth now has Ellis Johnson, Rudolph Gunther, and Yannick Gunther right behind him. Adam Barker back in 8th. Adam is about 3 1/4 seconds back, but he is closing in on that battle ahead. Zach Bay still in 9th and Mike Marshall in 10th. Harry Volsmere in 11th and Avery right behind. They are about 9 seconds behind Mike Marshall at the moment. Wessel just turned a 111.36. He's still getting faster. The track temp has come down dramatically. The track temp was about 107 during race 1. Now down to 94 degrees. That'll give him a bit more grip, a bit more power, and a bit faster laps. Harry has had a problem. And looks like Yannick had a problem a moment ago as well. Alright, there is Yannick, and whoa! Right through there, got too much of the curbing. Does keep it out of the tire wall. There's Harry going off into turn 1. Just on the power a little too soon and snaps around. Wessel's lead already 3.6 seconds over Roman Berg. It's even more impressive when you consider Wessel started race 2 in 7th after winning race 1. Ryan Hilton currently in 3rd, Ellis Johnson in 4th, Rudolph Gunther. Rudolph up 8 spots into 5th. Yannick in 6th, Kieran McConomy in 7th, Adam Barker in 8th, less than 2 seconds behind that group. After a rough start in race 1, Adam is showing just how fast he is in race 2. Wessel just turned to 111.01. Will he be able to break into the 110s? He is laying down some blisteringly fast laps as Ryan Elton battling for 2nd. Nose to tail into the final turn. It's unlikely Ryan can make the move on the straightaway, but through that first sector, you never know. He looks inside into turn 1, can't make it. Roman gets a little breathing room through those first couple of turns. Rudolph started looking on Ellis for a moment. The drivers did say during practice there's only a few places that you can make a pass, but this track is a little bit wider for a street circuit than some, allowing you to set up in some turns, but those first few, probably not. You might be able to make the move through turn 1, but you better finish it quickly. Ryan looks inside again, can't get it. Meanwhile, Ellis Johnson has his mirror full of Gunther. Rudolph right behind in 5th, Yannick in 6th. Kieran McConomy in 2nd. Now has that Audi of Adam Barker getting even bigger in his mirror. Adam 1.7 seconds back in closing. Avery Walker managed to get past Harry and has been closing the gap. Now 1.5 seconds behind Mike Marshall. Wessel's lead now 9.2 seconds. In 11 laps, he has gone from 7th to 1st and checked out to a 9+ second lead. Roman still holding on to second. Ryan has been unable to find a way past. Ryan definitely faster through these tighter sections. Hey, good morning, highly unlikely. How are you? Ellis still holds on to third with Rudolph and Yannick right behind. Kier McConomy has tightened back up. And Adam Barker just 1.5 seconds back. Apparently Hello Kitty is on the attack today. It is nice to see the Hello Kitty Audi back on track. Kier McConomy right there waiting for an opening. And let's see if we can take a lap around on board with Kier. Out of the final turn, down the front straightaway. Kier trying to close that gap up on Gunther. Down into turn 1. Very, very tight. Does not hit the curb. And out of that first sector, back on the power, getting set up for the tight turn. You see several different lines at play through every turn here. That BMW is one of the most planted cars. That Porsche, though, does have the advantage on cornering. Through that final chicane where we've seen so many drivers have problems, Kier on the attack. The Porsche went wide and Kier bobbles. And back across the start-finish line. Harry Volsmir has had a problem. He has gone to pit road. All right, there's Harry in the Lambo. Oh, too much of the curbing out of that sector. Tries to get it going, backs it into the wall. Loses the rear wing. And we saw the impact losing that rear wing. Had on cars earlier. And then just a few turns later, a hard spin, a hard hit to the wall. Wessel continuing to lead. Roman Berger currently in second. Ryan Hilton still in third. Ellis closing back up in fourth. Rudolph in fifth. Yannick in sixth. Kieran McConaughey in seventh. Adam Barker has lost some ground to this group. He's now 2.6 seconds back. Hope everybody is having a great morning and a great weekend. Feel free to drop in the comments. Tell us what you've been doing this weekend. And Jason Leonard has had a problem. Alright, there's Jason coming into that left-hander. And wow, that turn has bit quite a few folks. Does keep the car in one piece. He'll keep rolling. Folks, don't forget, this race will be on our YouTube channel later today in 4K if you missed any of it. And we'll be back live tonight at 9:30 Eastern for the SMR X Series. And don't forget, folks, we do have a lot of racing and a lot of streams to come this week as well, including the Unicorn back in the Mafia Tuesday night. C12 Motorsports will be back with the 87th Wednesday, 9:30 Eastern, and Thursday at 7:30 Eastern. Home Motorsports also back on track, followed immediately by the HTSAI Community Convoy. You definitely want to tune in for that and see all the trucking chaos. They will answer the question nobody has been asking: can you make an 18-wheeler fly? Yes, you can. Ryan Elton now in second is 15.25 seconds behind the leader. I guess Wessel got himself another beer and it's powering the car. But that battle from second on back still pretty tight. Roman Berg about a second behind. Hey, good morning, Raiders! And thank you, Dragon! Good morning, MC! Good morning, Panda! And there's my daughters! Good morning, Stace! Good morning! Loose. doing great. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for the raid, Dragon. Hope everybody is having a great weekend. And pit stops have just begun. Ellis drops in. And now the question is, will we see tire changes? No tire changes from the looks of it. It's going to be fuel only as Yannick Gunther is also in. But it's going to be interesting to see, will we see problems coming out of pit road? Not for Ellis. But man, that pit road exit, that positioning right between 1 and 2, things get spicy. And how is everybody's weekend going? All good, Dragon. Thank you so much. Just before you Raiders got in, let's go over the rest of the week. Tonight, 9:30 Eastern, the SMRX Series back on track. Tomorrow, I do believe we'll see the Unicorn trucking again. Tuesday night, the Unicorn will be back in the Mafia, and I believe she'll be finishing the first one. So moving on to Mafia 2 very, very soon. Wednesday night, the 87s are back on track at 9:30 Eastern. Thursday night, Home Motorsports, 7:30 Eastern. And next weekend, likely not to see any streams. The Unicorn and I will be in Enid, Oklahoma next Saturday night, and we will be announcing the Monster Truck and Tough Truck competition. Wessel's lead holds at about 15 seconds. Loose, it's been a wild one. And Jason Leonard has had a problem. There's Jason just ahead of the lead. Oh! Snaps around into the wall. The leader slips by. That could have been a lot worse. And looks like he had some problems getting it around and getting it going. Luce, how have you girls' weekends been? I see it has involved a lot of books. Ryan Elton in second, 15 seconds back. He's actually gained a tenth of a second on the leader. Does he have enough time to run him down? Can he run him down? Roman Berg in third, 5 seconds back. Adam Barker in fourth. Kieran McConomy in fifth. Avery Walker now in sixth. Zach Bache up to seventh. Ellis Johnson currently in 8th. Rudolph Gunther in 9th. Mike Marshall in 10th. Yannick Gunther in 11th. And Jason Leonard in 12th. Harry Volsmere out early. Pit stops have begun. Ellis Johnson, Rudolph Gunther have both been in, as has Yannick Gunther. Weirdly, Yannick's stop looked very, very short. Question is going to be, does he have enough fuel? Wessel going to continue to keep going. Ryan about 15 seconds back, is not gaining any more ground. He'll continue to stay out as well. Roman Burke continues to stretch it, as does Adam Barker. Kieran McConomy also staying out. Avery Walker was in on lap 1 after his incident, but he has not been in. Zach Bache is coming in. Will he take on tires in the Corvette? Now it looks like it's going to be fuel only. With it cooling off in St. Petersburg, I doubt we see any tire change this morning. And there comes Zach right out in front of the leader. And second place, Ryan Helton is in. Roman Berg in 3rd is coming in. Adam Barker's going to stay out, as does Kier. Wessel has just gone by Zach, putting him a lap down, still 10 cars on the lead lap. No problems for those two coming off pit road. It looked like Wessel may have been trying to get to pit road but missed the entry. Let's watch from the blimp. Comes through that final chicane, heads for the final turn. Something definitely went wrong coming out of that turn. Oh, he definitely tried to get it to pit road, but turned down too late. It's a good thing he had a significant lead. Oh, the leader is in the grass. Wow, what a turn of events. Wessel is headed to pit road, but how much did that incident cost him? Jason Leonard coming in behind. chicane, too much curbing. And a little bit of an impact on the nose, but he should be okay. He is rolling back out. And wow, rolled out into traffic. Avery Walker right behind. Like I said, that pit exit, it's sketchy. Adam Barker now has the lead. One of only two cars that have not been to pit road. Mike Marshall back in ninth, also has not been in. And Adam's going to continue to stay out. Wessel in second, about 7 seconds back. Avery in third. Avery has not been in for his fuel stop. He was on pit road on lap 1 for repairs. Back in fourth, but now only 8.5 seconds behind Wessel. And Ellis has had a problem. He has towed it in. Ellis had been in the top 5. Holy cow! Hit the curb in turn 1 a bit too hard. There you see it, and just smacks the wall and hits both sides. Adam Barker is now in. Zach Bates has had a couple of problems and towed it. But late in this one, the walls are closing in. All right, there's Zach in the Corvette. Oh, on the brakes, the back end steps out. He lost that rear wing, tries to get it rolling again. We've seen how critical that rear wing has been on the power. Snaps loose. Avery Walker is in as Zach is trying to blame the car. Wessel out front, still has a 9 1/4 second lead over Ryan. Roman into third, Adam Barker in fourth. And what a charge Adam has had in race 2. Started back in 12th, has marched his way forward, now in 4th. Rudolph Gunther in 5th, Avery in 6th, Kieran McConomy in 7th, Yannick Gunther in 8th. Mike Marshall on his way out in 9th. Zach Bache has gotten the car fixed and rolls back out in 10th and rolls out into traffic. Far enough ahead, no impact. Wessel Stevens goes back by Zach Bache. His lead still about 9.1 seconds. Ryan gains a little bit of ground on him, then loses a little bit. Roman in 3rd, but Roman may be in trouble. Parker less than 4 seconds behind. Remember, Adam started in 12, has fought his way to 4th. The Audi, as the driver said, one of the fastest cars around here. It is definitely shown today. Wessel's lead still holding at about 9 seconds. But Roman has pulled away. Adam has lost some ground. Adam now 4.5 seconds back. Rudolph Gunther, Avery Walker both closing in on Adam. Rudolph also having a big move after problems in race 1. He is up 8 spots into 5th. Avery in 6th, still right on Rudolph's bumper as well. And Ryan has gained some more ground. He's now 8.8 seconds behind the leader, but with less than 7 minutes to go. He's going to have to be a lot faster. Luce, we're doing good. How are you? debt collection this weekend. Ryan Elton continuing to inch closer. Adam now less than 4 seconds behind Roman again, but limited time left for him to make the podium. Avery Walker in his triumphant return this morning, right on Rudolph's bumper. Luce, I have always wanted to have a room that was just a library with a chair that I could recline and read in. Ryan Hilton has cranked it up a notch. He's now 5.9 seconds behind the leader with just over 4 minutes to go. Wessel has had to navigate a little bit of lap traffic, but Zach Bache? No, that is Mike Marshall ducking into pit road. David, I did not know that. I will definitely have to remember it's called a snug. Ryan now just 4.7 seconds behind. Wessel had a really slow lap last time by. He's been averaging in the mid 111s. Last time by, 114.4. Ryan Hilton currently running in second, Roman Berg in third. Adam Barker now in fourth, Avery in fifth. Rudolph has slipped back to sixth. Adam 2.5 seconds back. Behind Roman, can he close it? And Ryan just continues to march closer. And, whoa! Ryan getting closer and closer. Now just 4 seconds behind Wessel. Last time by, Ryan was 1.2 seconds faster. Does appear Wessel slowed down a bit after that incident. They do not get the white flag, so they've got 2 more laps. And folks, don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube Shorts will be back starting tomorrow. trucking tomorrow. Get ready for that chaos. Ryan now just 2 seconds behind Wessel. He is getting closer, but they're going to get the white flag this time. And there it is, Barney waving the white flag one more time around. Ryan 1.7 seconds back. Is Wessel going to be able to hold on to it, or is Ryan going to get there? Roman still has third, but Adam and Avery closing. "40 laps into a race, and the final lap, everything tightens up. The two Audis battling for 4th and 5th. And into the final turn, Wessel's gonna hold on. Wessel Stevens will sweep the morning at St. Petersburg. Ryan Elton comes home a close second. Roman Berg's gonna pull off third. And they come across the line in style. Well, that was definitely eventful. Let's see if we can talk to our top 3. Starting with Roman. Roman, it does appear you put the iceberg lettuce on the car, and you're fast.
That must have done it, you know?
I'm telling you, man, it worked really well for you. It was quite a battle there at the end, though.
Yep, just had to keep the times. The tires were kind of going dead, and everyone was catching up. So just try to keep it consistent, and we made it. Woo!
Well, man, a great job and a great way to start your season, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ryan Holden coming home in second. Helton, excuse me. Ryan, definitely a great way to start your NSS career, but man, that last 4 or 5 laps, you were marching toward him. Did you think you had him?
Yeah, we were actually joking because I misread my timing, so I thought I was completely out of fuel. So I thought I was going to have to pit. So, but yeah, if I had about 10 more minutes, I think we could have battled for a little bit. So it gives me some hope going forward.
Man, it was quite a battle there, and you were gaining a lot of ground. He was definitely losing time, but you were suddenly a lot faster.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the, I'm going to be planning to race every race this season, so it gives me some hope that I hopefully could be on his pace in the future.
Well, man, a great run this morning. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
And finally, our winner back in victory lane and sweeping the morning at St. Petersburg, Wessel Stevens. Wessel, you held on to it, but got close there.
Yeah, very close, very close. I was, I lost concentration. So, Ryan came very close.
Man, it did get a bit sketchy there for a few minutes, and like I said, you lost a lot of ground in that final 5 laps. How worried were you were going to lose it?
I was just chilling, to be honest. I enjoyed this race. Like we had good conversation while the race is going on.
So more or less, you were just goofing off.
Yeah. Like Ryan was very close to winning it. So yeah, compliments to him. And yeah.
Well, man, a great job. You sweep the morning. A heck of a way to start the season, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, man.
I don't think Wessel was taking that race very seriously. Those of you watching on Twitch, any suggestions who to raid out to? And folks, don't forget, tonight 9:30 Eastern, the SMRX series. Is back on track. And until then, guys, thank you so much for being here. Looking forward to seeing all of you again tonight, and have a great day, everybody.